All right, Barb, you want to start with reading the clerk's open meeting statement for us?
Sure. This meeting and all meetings of the Common Council are open to the public. Proper notice has been posted and given to the media in accordance with Wisconsin state statutes, so the citizens may be aware of the time, place, and agenda of this meeting.
And do you want to also take roll for us?
Mayor Smith,
Here,
Colin Dykstra.
he's got his thumb up.
Okay. Paul Hagan,
Here.
Eric Helverson,
Here.
Dimitri Martin,
Here.
Paul Mayo,
Here.
Corey Nagel,
Here.
Eric Olson,
Here.
Dave Peterson,
Here.
Scott Perchatsky,
Here.
Henry Veliker. 9 ayes, motion carried, or 9 present, we have a quorum.
Thanks, Barb. You want to start the introduction of the department heads too, please?
Barb Nowak, City Clerk.
Aaron Jensen, City Administrator.
Eric Bailey, Library Director.
Stephanie Reif, Finance Director.
Justin Behrens, Director of Public Works.
Laura Colbert, Parks and Rec Director.
Pete Krager, Chief of Police.
Thanks. And of course, Josh is in the back room running the cameras for us and the audio. And Matt Klatt, our airport director, is not here with us tonight. He was at our department head meeting earlier today. Next up, we have the consent agenda. This is for items. We take all of these items and make one motion unless you see something on the consent agenda that you would like to be moved to the regular agenda. Anybody see anything they would like to see moved? If not, we're looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Olson, second by Hagan, that we approve the consent agenda as printed. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. Under the regular agenda, we would need a motion to approve. There's no changes to that. So again, we could get a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion by Martin, second by Peterson, that we approve the regular agenda as printed. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Against, say no. Motion carried. Under non-agenda items, announcements and correspondence, we have, first of all, we have public input. This is for a non-agenda item. If there's anybody in the audience or council members or staff members that would like to speak on an item that's not on the agenda tonight, just raise your hand and try to limit that discussion to 3 minutes or less. Any non-agenda item for public input. Seeing none, we'll move on to community reports. We actually have Todd Jones here tonight, and Todd, I'll let you do the introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'm Todd Jones. I am the chairperson for the Waupaca King and In Between Business Group, and also a member of the Waupaca Arts and Culture Network, several acronyms that I know all of you are becoming ever so familiar with. Pleasure to be with you here tonight. I'm here to provide a brief update on our activities and results since the last time that we met here with the council. To start, we wrapped up the 2024 season with our Yuletide celebration, a week-long celebration, as we've done in the prior couple of years. That included our Christmas parade, which we brought back 2 years ago now. This year, we had 31 participants, which was a significant increase from the prior year, and a better-than-expected turnout, even with the extremely cold weather that we experienced. So for those of you who were in attendance, thank you for braving the cold. But a very festive event. Our cookie walk was also part of that event this year, and we had a record number of cookie tin sales, a total of 300 this year, which I believe is the most on record for the cookie walk. So excellent press and media coverage as well, and we'll continue moving forward with planning for this year's event as well. To keep the winter cheer going, our Wiki member, the Indian Crossing Casino, has been hosting a series of winter farmers markets in the off-season for the farmers market. It takes place each Saturday. They will continue now through April 2025. at which time we transition to the spring and summer markets. But it's brought tremendous amount of visitors from outside the area and some really great crowds each Saturday. So if you haven't experienced that, go and check it out, please. Then Wacken hosted recently on March 15th the 25th annual Irish Wake. This year it took place at the Hinder Brewing Company and was also an opportunity for us to introduce the new event space that they've invested in, the 810, which is a phenomenal space, excellent crowd, great turnout, and really festive event in honor of the 25 years of that occurring. Switching over to the political front, earlier this month, a small group of Wacken members met with Senator Cabral Guevara. We met here in the offices here during a state budget listening session. And this was really our opportunity as an arts community to ask for some specific support of Senate bills and legislature to increase funding for the arts in our community and actually statewide. So really good listening session. I think we got some preliminary results, more work to do with the senator. In fact, she'll be back here tomorrow hosting another listening session. So if you care to join, that takes place at 6 p.m. Here in the library meeting rooms. So speaking of the arts, we'll soon be celebrating the Waupaca Community Arts Board 20th anniversary. So a lot of milestones this year you're starting to recognize. So the Arts Board has been together for 20 years in total, and together with our local businesses, along with the Chamber, we're planning some really unique events for this year's activities. That will take place starting with the Art Appreciation Week and run throughout the weekend with Arts on the Square. Live music, special edition wine walk that we're working to put together, and many other community activities, including some special activities down at the Shine Sculpture Grounds at Rotary Park. So if you haven't participated in that, I'd encourage you to do so and encourage others in the community as well. For our retailers, we are busy planning to kick off the busiest season of the year. We started with our first event this year, the Vintage Shop Hop, which was held on March 1st and 2nd. We had a total of 6 businesses participate this year. This is the spring session. There'll be another one in October that coincides with all of our fall activities for local businesses and the community as well. So really good participation through that event. And then last update for you, together with the Chamber, we've been making some tremendous progress and updates under Jeff Anderson's leadership. So we're grateful to have him on board as the Chamber president. We've started with the several new engagements. The Events Planning Committee, brand new group of individuals, both from the arts community and the business community, planning all of the events to draw more people into the Waupaca area, inclusive of our local residents as well. A refresh publication, both digital and in print, of our wiki maps, which are extremely popular to drive awareness of what we offer throughout our community, and continued engagements through our downtown partnership meetings with the city administration and the Chamber. Each of these engagements are absolutely critical to our ongoing success as business owners, art participants, and the like, and they assist us to really improve our business climate here locally and further drive the arts community and culture here in Waupaca and the surrounding area. So in closing, thank you for your continued support of both Wacken and Wiki. We couldn't do it without you and the city administration, and we're looking forward to a very successful year ahead. Thank you.
Thanks, Todd. Anybody have any questions of Todd, comments for him? Todd, we really do appreciate you coming in front of us and letting us know what's
appreciate
going
it.
on. Thanks. All right, next up, we have the annual report of the Parks and Recreation, and that's Laura.
Thank you, Mayor. You can find the report on page 83. And boy, what a year, 2024. Thank you to Council, Parks and Rec Board for helping to make a lot of the things possible. If you go to the next page, Aaron, this highlights our employees and our board members. A lot of more information to come down here about our employees, which I'll talk about in a second. The next page outlines, it's a real summation or snapshot of what this entire report puts together. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this paragraph, but rather I'm going to move you forward to the next page where you can see our revenue and expenses. As you can see, our biggest revenue right now is intergovernmental. That includes our city taxpayer funds, but also our partnerships that we have with the town of Dayton, Farmington, and Waupaca. And then I want to note that parks is our biggest expense. You'll see how many parks we have and what all the neat and wonderful things we've been doing in those parks. And I also want to note that a large chunk of that parks budget is our concessions as well. And as Steph and I work to really refine the outlook of the revenue and expenses, I'm hoping to extract some of those more finite details for you in the subsequent years. The next picture, or the next page, shows a lot of pictures of our department, a lot of the exciting things that have happened throughout the year, both with adults and kids. And let's go to the fun facts page. Did you know that we hired 107 seasonal employees on the bottom right? That was something that was quite an eye-opener once we actually counted that up. Additionally, on the bottom middle box, I want to outline that in October and in February, we did an hourly count for every week, or for every day that we were open within a week. And based on that hourly count, we were able to determine that we had, in those 3 months, moved from 55 pickleball players in our gym on average daily to 65 in our gym daily. So just in those 3 months, the amount of pickleball players had increased. And yes, it is the US's fastest growing sport and has been for the last 3 years. You can see on the bottom left that we had an average of 2,268 patrons enter our door every week on average, and resulting in 324 per day. So quite a lot of people using our facilities, which is wonderful. On the top left, perhaps where a normal person would start on a page, you can see just some parks data there. And as hopefully you all know, based on my director's report, that we made $195 on our kayak rental. I will have that new contract coming to you in the 1st or the 2nd of April. And we're hoping to move that to the beach and hopefully accrue even more revenue from that. And then on the right, you can see what our park shelters were used for as they were rented throughout the years, or throughout the months, summer months. All right, the next page shows all of our parks. As a friendly reminder, we are selling park tour t-shirts with this information on it. So those go for $20. And we're also selling hats at the rec center. All right, so the next slide, this is one of my favorite pages, is the new stuff that we introduced in 2024. We have, now one lovely hoop instructor who is teaching flow arts, hula hooping. She's been doing it for kids. She's come out to the 4th of July parade, there's others. They were at Halloween on Main. They did the fire dancing. And so now they're doing hoop classes, and we just offered our first adult hoop class and had 9 people come. So it's growing in all generations. We started a softball pitching and hitting camp for the first time to coincide with the baseballs, and that had a really great turnout. As Marty mentioned, we started the kayak rental. We are in the works of switching to RecDesk from ActiveNet. So some things we're doing through RecDesk and will officially turn over on August 1st of this year. And then on the top right, you can see Get in the Game, Soccer, Skills, and Drills. So that is with an instructor named Kim, who is bringing a plethora of knowledge and skills to our kiddos who like to play soccer. The following page shows the awarded grants that we received in 2024. And it's crazy to think that one grant can dwarf all the rest. But as you know, we received the $4.165 million grant from the Flexible Facilities Program, which is going to make a huge impact on our rec center and our ability to provide more space and a business center for our community. We also received 2 grants from Rotary. We received 2 grants for the Brainerd's Bridge project, one from Bass Pro Shop, one from the Fund for Lake Michigan. And Community Chest gave us some money for senior center equipment, and then we received some money from Major League Baseball to help our Lakeman Field project. So again, incredibly thankful for every opportunity afforded us by those grants. The next page shows our shelter reservations that we have throughout the months of May through September. As you can see, our South Park Upper Shelter is by far the most heavily rented. It's always the first one to go because it comes with that kitchen that is fully accessible. But we're getting some for the Lions Park. Lots of people are having birthday parties there, so that's exciting. And hopefully with the Eco Park remodel coming down the road, we can get even more people out by Eco Park. The next page is, again, one of my favorites, showing all of the parks improvements that were conducted in 2024. As mentioned, we did the Brainer's Bridge Island Restoration Project. And just so you know, this project is continuing. We still had about $9,000 worth of grant funds. So the DNR is going out there. They are spraying for invasives. They're going to plant more trees. They're going to put more prairie plugs in and continue to make sure that that project is as good as it can be moving forward. So we're really glad that they're still on board to continue that project. As I had mentioned in council before, we have expanded our River Ridge Trail to meet the Woodpile Wildlife Refuge Bird Sanctuary. When we had our winter walk out there on March 2nd, people were ecstatic that they could walk through there. They enjoyed the beautiful vistas, the nice walks. If you haven't had an opportunity to go out there and you're a hiker, I highly recommend it. We got our infield and lights done at Community First Lakeman Field. Yet this year we will get the concessions and bathroom done. We purchased the lot by the Community First Lakeman Field. Thank you again for that. That can be put to future use for parking or additional space as needed. We've expanded our senior center garden. We narrowed the trail on the inside so that the plots are bigger for our seniors. We moved and renovated our Eco Park shed to the soccer practice field so that the soccer groups can use a shed and it's not sitting idle like it was at Eco Park. And a brand new Nels Rasmussen shed for our Waupaca Garden Club is installed at the top of Nels Rasmussen Park. So if you turn the page, there's some images of the lights, the beautiful lights, the new shed, our new digital sign out front. And the following page, now we're going to talk about some of our community partners. So we hosted 2 movie days. One was outside. We showed Wonka at South Park and are forever grateful for Shindig for sponsoring that event and for coming out and selling candy. It goes really well with the Wonka movie. And then we joined the Yuletide Trail for the first time this year and showed the Santa Claus in the rec center and are super grateful for First State Bank for donating the bouncy houses, which I believe brought in a lot of people to come watch the movie as well. And then the Cultural Exchange Group sold concessions, so a really great collaboration all around. We partner with local businesses, you can see them listed here, to hand out prizes for our medallion hunt winners. So they received $300 worth of prizes. And as always, our Halloween on Main event was a huge hit, so thank you for all of our partners in that. And come to find out, according to Placer AI, we had about 5,900 people in town for that event. Way above the number that we had initially thought, between $2,000 and $4,000. And then as always, we do our virtual ice fishing and want to thank Bank First and Walleyes for Kids for what they offer for that. When you go on to the next page, you can see pictures from our Yuletide Trail movie. We did 5 months of River Ridge Trail promotion, and so it shows those signs there. And then our outdoor movie at South Park and the Brainerd's Bridge Restoration Project. I want to also point out here we had collaborators with the CEC. They helped us with our island restoration. They worked on erosion and were really involved in helping to plant the prairie plugs and trees, and then they helped put some trout into our river. It was a great day. Moving on to the senior center. So here you can see our advisory board, our mission and vision, and then on the next page you can see all the things that happened. So I just want to point out that we reached a huge milestone with the senior center and surpassing that 700 member count. So we reached 713 for the first time ever. In fact, I think Andrea's first year, she didn't even make it past 600. And so it just continues to grow. It really is the place to be when you're 50 and over. I kind of can't wait till that time comes. I can, but I can't. And then as you can see, we had 20,726 total check-ins. They are always getting involved in the community. They are running an all-stars cardio drumming for us this year. They're doing cardio drumming with cahoots groups. And then you can see all of the different community events that they are tying into, and they're constantly saying yes to anybody who asks, and it's just wonderful down there. You can see on the right-hand side the most attended classes. Our cardio drumming has surpassed 70 people this year as well at one time. You can imagine the energy in that gym when that's happening. All right, next page, we have our youth center. We had almost 2,000 teens attend youth center on the Fridays and Saturday nights in 2024. And you can see our lovely staff pictured there. On the next page, you can see our total numbers for all of our programming. And this is how we're going to present our numbers from now on, because it gives us a really great holistic view of how many kids are joining each program from each township. So when we report out to the townships, we have specific numbers that they can look at to see, is this growing, is this not growing, and then we as staff can determine if programs are worth keeping around or if we should adjust them. All right, so the next page shows the adult rec programs that we have. And I'm sure you're not surprised, pickleball has quite a few different teams, and that has grown a lot since I've been around in 2 years. And just so that everybody's aware, when the construction happens on the blue gym, we are going to continue to keep our adult programming, and we're going to move it into the Augie Austin gym. We feel if we were to take a league off, like a fall season off or a spring season off, that people would go and find other leagues to play in, and then they may not come back. So we want to maintain the leagues that we currently have and move them over to the Augie Austin gym. All right, so cemetery information. You can see that we had 31 total burials and how that breaks down. And then it gives the months that are the busiest. It's actually surprising that we had so many in January and February, and I think that's indicative of what the weather was like last winter. Sometimes we have to wait on burials because of how frozen the ground is. Yes, we have a thaw machine, but sometimes people just like to wait till it's a little warmer out and a little easier to dig. And then the last page shows some improvements that our cemetery sexton has been doing. Last year, we talked about how the roads had been recently newly asphalted, and now we're adding updated wayfinding so that people have a better idea of where they're headed when they get to the cemetery. And that concludes my report.
Laura, thank you. Council, anything? Yeah, go ahead, Corey.
I just happened to drop my son off for baseball about an hour ago. Did we also get a shed in the parking lot there, or is that?
That is for the home improvement show that's
Okay.
happening this weekend. They
So
drop it
that's
off a
not
little early.
ours.
Yeah, it's not ours, no.
I was
It could be
looking at
yours,
it. It looked pretty
Corey,
nice,
but it's not ours.
Okay.
It could be for the right price. Any other comments? Thank you, Laura. This is really nice, real inclusive.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right, next up, you can see on there on the agenda, you have the Waupaca Area Fire District report. Jacob is not here tonight, our fire chief, but you can find that on page 106, 107, and 108. And you can always contact Jake if you have any questions on what's going on at the fire department. New business, we have a approval of a credit card information security policy, and that's you, Josh. Make your grand entrance, Josh. There we go.
As part of our implementation of Rec Desk in the Parks Department, the credit card provider that the city selected to work with to process the payments requires us to meet PCI compliance, which is the credit card security compliance. And one of the requirements is our organization needs to have a security policy as it relates to handling credit cards and all the payment data, which we do not have a formal policy. In order to complete the process to get approval on that, we had to agree to implement a policy. They did provide a template that we worked off of. The template was modified to meet our organization. There were some things in there that didn't pertain to us. And it ranges from everything from things I have to do on the IT side to things that staff need to do when handling credit cards, to how the data is handled. For example, not emailing data, not if you have to write something down, it has to be shredded a certain way. Had to do with physical security, so don't let non-staff into areas where credit cards are being handled, all that sort of stuff. And I could go through the 30-page policy if you want to, but probably don't want to go through that whole thing. But it was a pretty good policy, a lot of good recommendations in there, a lot of common sense things. And one of the other nice parts of it, each credit card provider, Visa, MasterCard, etc., has a different way to handle if there were ever an incident with credit card data, how you'd report that and deal with that, and that's all laid out in there as well. Any employee that has anything to do with the security of this data or handling credit cards needs to review and sign off on this on an annual basis. This was presented to the Personnel Committee, who approved bringing it to City Council for final approval. So any questions or concerns with it?
Anybody have any comments or questions for Josh?
Jump through all the pages and review it.
Well, Josh, thank you for putting this together.
Well, don't thank me. They gave the template to modify.
Well, thank them then too, yeah. Anybody have any questions? We're looking for a motion to approve this policy so that we're in compliance.
Motion to approve the credit card policy.
Second.
Motion by Dykstra, second by Nagel, that we approve the credit card agreement here. Any discussion? Security policy, I'm sorry. Any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against,
Aye.
say no. Motion carried.
Thanks.
Thank you, Josh. Next up, we have Wisconsin Public Service easement at 2601 Runway Drive. Justin.
Yes, thanks, Mayor. My memo starts on 133, followed by a bunch of the easement documents. This is another easement at the airport from Wisconsin Public Service. You might be thinking we've already done this, which is why I had this map put together on 134. When we move forward with the sewer extension project, the red hash and the blue hash, so one's electric and one's for gas, easements were created, and those came at separate times to council for approval. You can see they're on city property, so require council approval. Now we have another easement just to the west of that in that black, and this is to support the future T-hangers. So that's what this request is all about. So these are fairly straightforward, similar to each other in request. They come from Wisconsin Public Service. There is a easement document number that will get recorded. They take care of all of that, and they do that after the work is complete. There is a temporary exhibit for much the same reason. They will complete the work. Once it's completed and they know that that easement is accurate, then they will finalize it and again be recorded. The terms of the easement, such as ingress, egress, and restoration, are all standard, everything that we understand and we work with WPS on. So there's really the wording of that is all pretty much standardized, and we've seen all this before. So this is, again, just the third one that's happening out there, but this one is for the T-hangers in specific, so we need to get this one done so we can get power to that future building. So with that, there's an easement document number in the action. If you could please just, I guess, read that off, that would be greatly appreciated.
Tell me the number again. Oh, I got it. Sorry. 3329486. Okay. Anybody have any questions of Justin? Anybody would like to make a motion to approve this easement?
Move to approve easement LL3329486.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion by Hagan, second by Martin, to approve. Any discussion? If not, Barb will call the roll.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Scott Perchatsky,
Aye.
Eric Olson,
Aye.
Eric Helverson,
Aye.
Corey Nagel,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra.
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
All right, Justin, thank you. Next up, we have on page 143, this is license report for operator's license. Of course, we all know that is bartender's license. Someday we'll just change it to that, so I don't have to say it each time. We have one name on there, so we just need a motion to approve this license report.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Peterson, second by Olson, that we approve license report number 1712. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against,
Aye.
say no. Motion carried. Sorry, Colin, for going quicker. Next, we have the taxi cab license report there. This is one person that would like to renew their license to drive taxi. We'd need a motion to approve license report number 1713.
Move to approve license report number 1713.
Second.
Motion by Nagel, second by Olson, that we approve license report number 1713. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say no. Motion carried. All right, next up, we are asking that we go into closed session. So I would need I'll read the whole thing here once I get a motion in a second, but we're requesting that we go into closed session. Anybody want to make that motion?
Move to approve. Move to go. Excuse me. Move to go into closed session.
Second.
Motion by Hagan, second by Nagel, that we convene into closed session pursuant under section 19.85, parent 1, parent C, and Wisconsin statutes 19.85, parent 1, parent F, to discuss a personal matter in which confidentiality is afforded for personal reasons as described under the statute and also pursuant with Wisconsin statutes 19.85, parent 1, parent E, to deliberate or negotiate the investing of public funds or conducting other specific public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Any discussion? If not, Barb will take the roll to go into closed session.
Paul Hagan,
Aye.
Eric Helverson,
Aye.
Paul Mayo,
Aye.
Dave Peterson,
Aye.
Colin Dykstra,
Aye.
Dimitri Martin,
Aye.
Corey Nagel,
Aye.
Scott Perchatsky,
Aye.
Eric Olson.
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
All right, we will be in closed session as soon as we close the door.